Hello and welcome to our sixth session of Screen Reader Savvy, the 2024 refresh. In this installment, we're going to take a look at use of JAWS and NVDA on the web. So let's go ahead and get started. Sometimes I feel like a fly when I use the web. And that's because using the internet with a screen reader can be really intimidating. Many screen reader users are not effective navigators of the web and think that using tab or the arrow keys is going to get them what they want. And the fact is that there are a lot more effective ways to surf the internet. Another side of this is that it can take a lot of practice. And as we have said, practice makes progress. So learning and using these different key commands that we're going to talk a little bit about in this session will kind of help you to get a good handle on getting started. Just a note on the upcoming slides, the internet is one of the areas that JAWS and NVDA differ and diverge in some places, but are the same in others. At the top of each one of the slides in this deck, the title will contain the name of the screen reader to which the information pertains. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time reading what's on these slides because they are key commands that you can quite easily review on your own using the link in the description to download the PDF version of the slide deck. Just a caveat regarding browsers and screen readers, and we've talked about this in the first session of this course, but it's definitely worth repeating, especially given the topic that we're going to be delving into here. Browsers and screen readers are updated a lot more frequently than they used to be, so changes can happen literally overnight. Browsers in particular. Screen readers update roughly quarterly, at least that's the case with NVDA. JAWS can update about that often, give or take. It kind of depends. A method or a process that works well for a long time may not work or work differently all of a sudden and for no real reason that you can pick up on. And added to that, websites are usually constantly updated. And often changes in the way that the information is presented can make accessibility work differently or even not work at all. When changes happen, it's a trial and error process. So learning to troubleshoot and problem solve is essential. Problem solving and troubleshooting often can be a challenge for our students. So the more opportunities to learn and opportunities to practice these skills can be very beneficial to them in the future. There are some general Windows commands that work across screen readers and browsers. Go to the address bar with Control L. Opening the Downloads page, Control plus J. This can help if you have downloaded a document and are unsure of where exactly it downloaded to. Sometimes it can help to open that Downloads page and navigate it and find out where that document landed. Opening a new tab, Control T, and cycling between open tabs is Control Tab. To close the current tab is Control F4, and to open the bookmarks menu is Alt plus the letter B. So what are elements? An element is any navigable item, object, or text on a website. There are a lot of different kinds of elements. Headings are an element, links are an element, buttons, combo boxes, form fields, all of those things that make up a website are elements of that website. Web developers define an element when they create the website, and that's what kind of makes them what they are. Let's talk about headings first. In both JAWS and NVDA, headings are navigated by using the letter H on a website. Headings are multi-leveled. Much like a textbook is organized with headings at the higher level, like heading level 1 is the most general, and those at a lower level, such as heading level 6, are more specific. So think about it, think about your science textbook. You might have units that are covering larger topics like space or rocks. And the smaller units in the space category might be solar system, and the smaller unit beyond that might be planets. and the smaller unit beyond that might be mercury. So if you think about narrowing it down that way, that can often help with understanding headings at various levels. Headings can also be navigated by the number. So headings at level 1 can be navigated by typing the number 1 on the number row. This can be useful if you're trying to skim for a topic. So if you know there's like a couple of headings at level 1, but you don't really want to read anything below that because you're looking for something in particular, pressing 1 will take you through all of the headings at level 1, or 2, or 3, etc. When might navigating by heading be useful? Well, a perfect example is a news site. Often stories are classified by a heading. Sometimes it's heading level 2, sometimes 3. It will depend on the website. But navigating stories or titles or sections on a news site is often best done by heading. Shopping, navigating by department or by a specific brand. Sometimes pages are organized that way. Anyone who uses the National Library Service BARD website knows that it's navigated by heading. Book titles are at a specific heading level where dates are at a different heading level. So heading level for the date might be heading level 2. And if you're looking for books uploaded on a particular date, you're going to keep pressing 2 until you find the one you want, and then press 4 or even just H to find the next heading under the heading that you're currently focused on. And those are just some examples. There are many others. JAWS has a lot of single letter navigation commands, and this is true of NVDA as well. I'm not, like I said, going to go through each one of these, but probably the most used ones are pressing B for button if you're looking for a done button or a submit button on a website. C for combo box if you're filling out a form. That's a very common one. Navigating to an edit box with the letter E to enter text, and remember you might have to enter forms mode by pressing an enter or a space bar, and you will be prompted by your screen reader probably for that, but just something to keep in mind. We talked about navigating by headings. We haven't really talked about frames much. Frames and regions are ways that the overall website is organized. There used to be a lot more frames on websites, I think, than there are currently. And what that used to do is used to separate out a lot of the advertisements were in one frame. So it used to be if you could just jump by a really large chunk of things, you could do by frame by using the letter M, or by region by using the letter R. To navigate by table is another good one. If you're looking for a table is T. Another really good one that I actually like is visited and unvisited links. If you're at a website that you have visited before and you know that the link you're looking for is one you have also visited before, you can press the letter V to jump to the next link that you have visited. Sighted people can do this often by looking for how links appear differently. They often, if they're visited, appear in a different color. So this is a great way to do the same thing with JAWS. There are other ones, of course, and that is definitely something that you can review on your own. NVDA has also some same single letter commands, and most of them are the same, such as button, combo box, edit field, heading. All of those are the same. Visited and unvisited links. We talked about those. Some of the different ones, some examples of ones that are different, are navigating using K to get to the next link. That is not a command in JAWS. W for the next spelling error. We talked about that previously in the last session about navigating spelling errors. And those are some of the major ones. And that should do it. I know that's a lot of information, and at the same time, not very much. But it's a lot to muddle through, and it gives you a lot of things to practice. Remember, practice makes progress. In the next section and installment of this series, we're going to delve a little bit deeper into using the web with your screen reader. Until then, happy navigating!